lit this town like a fire in a blaze. Gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it away. Tonight, we gonna let it away. Tonight, we gonna let it away. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it away. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it away. Tonight, we gonna let it away. Tonight, we gonna let it away. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it away.
Well, there I am. Hello, hello, hello. I was taking a drink. Sorry about that, guys. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. It is Sunday, June the 8th, and you guys are right on time. Well, I'm a little late, but you're right on time. Welcome in, everybody. Hopefully you guys are having a great Sunday and you had a great weekend. It was a pretty nice weekend here in Ohio. I mean, it rained a little here and there, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Let me move this back a little bit. Okay, that gets on my nerves. I always hit the Post-it note holder with my microphone. Not like you guys care, but I do. It bothers me. So we'll say hi to people in the chat, and then we'll get started with tonight's live. But if you're new here on the channel, my name is Tanya or TitaniumBuilt. You can call me either or. And welcome back to all the people that come in and join me for the lives every evening. I appreciate it. Or when you can, I'm here every night, though. I'm here every night. Hey, Ladybug. I had a great day today. I did. Thanks for asking. Hey, Mary Beth. Where was that? Did I take a picture of it? It's funny. It was really funny. Hopefully I did. Oh, and I did. Okay. So someone I know posted this today. I'm going to send it to my computer so I can show it to you guys. It was pretty funny. It was like right on, like with my life. So I don't know if you can see this. Here we go. Okay. That way I can put his name off there too. But let me show you guys this picture really quick, just because you asked me how my day was. So every I don't know, a few times a week I feel like I'm there, but a few times a week I'm at Sam's Club, and I'm like always standing in that line, and it seems like the line for Sam's Club, like to get like a pretzel, is forever long, and they know me in there now, so they're like, hey, Tanya, or they don't know if I don't think they know my name, but they're like, hey, but this one lady that works in there, she always wants to show me, she always has like new rings or jewelry, and she's the sweetest. So I'm always like looking at her jewelry, and I know we're taking up the line while we're looking at the jewelry. But I thought this was funny. It says, welcome to adulthood, where the only clubbing you'll be doing is at Sam's. And I was like, man, that hit hard. That hit hard today. Cause yeah, that is the only clubbing I'll be doing. That's the only clubbing that I'll be doing is getting that pretzel. And that frozen chocolate yogurt is a godsend for $2. Get every day, all day. Sign me up. So that's what I did today. If anyone wanted to know, we went to Sam's. I think we went to a couple other places too, but Target, of course. And everybody and their brother was in there. Hey, Chris. Like, it was like a family reunion in there today with people. Hey, Kathy. Not me. I don't have any family here, but other people. Hey, Claw. Welcome in. It's good to see everybody. Hey, Ashley. Yeah, we have a hearing next, or on the 18th. I don't know when that is. Like, I don't know what date it's on. I mean, I know the date. I don't know the day. Yeah, today's Sunday, all day. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Petunia. Hey, Captain. You're okay, Captain. Hey, Michelle. At least you know we got your back. I always like love that whenever I go into chats, if like my name's ever been brought up ever, it's always like, it's never anything bad, but like Aries, especially Aries, like good God, I love that guy. He will be like, did you say TitaniumBuilt? I love her. What about her? She's like my sister. What do you mean? So, hey, Tom. Hey, Doodlebug. He takes up for me. Oh no, Michelle. And there are people been talking about the alternative perpetrator. I think it's probably just something to talk about, And maybe everyone just decided to talk about it all at the same time. Hey, Jog. Hey, Princess. Well, welcome in, everybody. Oh, I hear the dog's coming back in right on time. Hey, Tony. I figured I'd talk to you guys while they were sorting themselves out anyway. Mia Mori, welcome in. I'm here. Hey, M. Turner, welcome in. Welcome in. Hey, baby girl. There's baby girl. Hey, Tony. So, someone said they thought they missed you or something. I think it was in another video that I posted. We didn't do like a premiere. We just did the video today. And they were like, I missed baby girl. So yeah. Okay. So I heard that there's riots going on in LA and in New York. I don't know if you guys have heard about the ones in New York as well, but what's wrong with people? Like, I don't like that. That's too close to Vince's mom. Like, I'll be asking. I'm surprised I haven't asked him already to ask her if she's okay, but she lives far enough away to where she's okay. But, like probably 30 minutes in a car. It's really just like the town over, but it's like when you're in a car in California, you go through like every town is a town. It's not like a small town, like in Ohio or, Midwest, you go through those little small towns. It's like every town is like a city. Like, and it's like, what's going on here? And if I missed anybody while I'm going through the names, just say, hey, you missed me. Hey, DM. I was still kind of going through. I was just going through slowly. Hey, Lenora. Hey, Nathaniel. Welcome in. It's been a while, I feel like. You're getting a network error? Uh-oh. Hey, Monchi, can you still see me? Oh, thanks for hitting the like. Hey, Katie. Yeah, if you guys don't mind, take a minute, hit the like. Did I say hi to you, Lenora? I think I did. Hey, get to the ducking point. Everyone's like, would you? Hey, Dana. Every time I say your name, I think that. I'm like right on time. It's chaos. I've seen it on Twitter. I don't like Twitter or X. I mean, I do, but I don't. I don't like it that it's so open and you can see everything, but at the same time, I like that it's open and you can kind of see like what's going on out there in the world. But sometimes it's just too much, like too much. Thanks, Machi. Thank you so much. Like someone today hit a dog, I guess. in my old hometown. And instead of, I don't know if it was the person, like a person hit it and they left, but somebody stopped and put a coat over it and got it out of the road. So that was sweet. But at the same time, it's like, why weren't we calling animal control, like waiting there? I knew someone, right, that hit a deer on Western Avenue. That's like one of the main roads. Like it's like from where I grew up. And she hit this deer and she chased this deer down. Love her. Love this girl. And she got in her car and it wasn't kicking her like a lot. She said it was like trying to like kick her, but she's a tough cookie. She's like, I was just moving out of the way. And she was right in front of an animal vet. Like she was like a vet that does like horses and like farm animals and stuff. Like, so she took the deer right there, but someone just hit this dog instead of like, it's someone's family dog, you know? They didn't take the dog to the vet or nothing, no. And it was on Facebook. I never get on Facebook. I never, ever get on Facebook. But today, for some reason, my finger went there and I was just started scrolling, you know? And that's what happens when you do that. So we'll get into tonight's live since I've been talking your guys' ear off. But yeah, that's what happened today. I was like, oh my gosh. Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. Like, just something. She took the deer to the vet. I mean, the deer was fine. The deer ended up being fine. She came to work. She was like, I just need a minute. I was like, you need like 20 just to sit there and relax for a minute. Yeah, I hate getting sucked into Facebook land because usually it's like it's always something's dead. Every time. That's why I don't even look on there. You know, I just don't even get on there. But today I did it. I was like, dang it. But okay, so I thought we would do things a little backwards tonight. Normally we'll go over like what the podcast is going to be like about, and I'll like show you like some stuff, you know, like beforehand, like news clippings or whatever. But we're going to do the podcast first and then do the stuff afterwards because it's a lot. Like it's the podcast is good. And I might even like maybe pause it through the podcast and show you things, but the stuff afterwards, it's like mind boggling. So basically what we're going to go over tonight is based off of the podcast. So the podcast is going to go over like the media circus surrounding the investigation and how it's impacted the case against Bryan Kohberger and how people see Bryan Kohberger, and if, you know, or Kohberger, or people, you know, are against him or for him. You know, there is like a divide, and it's kind of crazy to me, like how big this divide is. And even with like content creators, you know, like a lot of people have a lot of opinions about this case. And there's even that web sleuths that came out. I forget who did that, Paramount. And I never got to watch that. So I wish I could play that. I don't think I can though. I'd have to see. I'd have to look into that, but that would be a good one to look at. But I do have a lot of stuff to show you. I've got like a little presentation, and then I have like some videos and some articles that I wanted to go through, and some YouTube channels I wanted to show you guys. Actually, let me look up one really quick before let me put their name in there before I forget. I don't even know if I think that's it. Maybe not. Okay. I'll ask you guys whenever we get to there. But we'll go ahead and we'll put the podcast up. I'll put pictures up like I normally do. And then, yeah, we'll go over this and then we'll go over the rest of the stuff. I was trying to think of what else I was going to say. But if you guys don't mind, take a second, just hit the like button if you don't care. If you don't like the content, hit the, you know, thumbs down, whichever. It's engagement. It's all engagement. But hopefully you won't. But hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you. If you're in chat and you're not like talking to us in the actual chat with us. We're friendly people here. I promise you, we are totally friendly. We don't bite. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we have to, you know. But thank you again for being here. Hey, Jet Set. And welcome in everybody that I've missed. It's good to see you guys. Okay, so we're going to do the podcast first. I'll put up pictures, like I said, that kind of goes along with it.
Since Moscow police began investigating the brutal murders of 4 University of Idaho students at an off-campus home on November 13, they have claimed it was a targeted attack. The Latah County prosecutor doubled down on those claims, saying investigators believe one of the victims was the intended target.
This is The Idaho Massacre, a production of KT Studios and iHeartRadio. Episode 8, The Circus of Murder. I'm Courtney Armstrong, a television producer at KT Studios with Stephanie Lydecker, Jeff Shane, and Connor Powell. As the mystery of the brutal murders of Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin unfolded, the national spotlight on the case grew brighter. When Bryan Kohberger was arrested at his parents' home on December 30th, that public spotlight intensified. The newspaper headlines and breaking news alerts for the criminologist turned killer practically wrote themselves. Reporters, TV anchors, crime writers, and legal analysts pored over the probable cause affidavit laying out the case against Kohberger as they flocked to Pennsylvania and then Idaho to cover his extradition hearing and first court appearance in Moscow. The worldwide appetite for information about the investigation seemed impossible to satisfy. But before Kohberger even arrived in Idaho, Latah County Judge Megan Marshall issued a non-dissemination order. The move barred attorneys, law enforcement officials, and anyone associated with the investigation from talking about the case. Judge Marshall defended the sweeping decree, saying the gag order was needed to protect Bryan Kohberger's right to a fair trial. 2 weeks later, Judge Marshall expanded the gag order to include the families and lawyers for the victims from speaking publicly. Journalists were furious, and more than 20 media organizations challenged the restrictions. So too did the lawyer for Kaylee Gonzalez's family. Attorney Shannon Gray argued the gag order violated the family's right to free speech and silenced the victim's family's voice. While those closest to the investigation were barred from talking about the case, public demand for information only intensified. Curious spectators and wannabe detectives on social media became obsessed with the case and Bryan Kohberger. Tours past the home on King Road in Moscow became a regular occurrence. Chat forums on websites like Reddit exploded, and its online community both fervently followed the investigation and at times inserted itself into the story, sifting through the facts, speculation, and rumors of the investigation. While the gag order prevented leaks and has kept the pretrial hearings orderly, a circus has developed outside of the courtroom on social media and chat forums like Reddit. From a distance, the circus seems harmless, but for many involved in trying the case, the fear is the circus could seriously impact the prosecution and trial of Bryan Kohberger.
I was actually late to finding out the story. I think it was on Thanksgiving. My cousins were actually all talking about it at the Thanksgiving table, and I had no idea that this had honestly occurred.
By day, this anonymous Redditor works in a New York City office.
I started looking into it just on my own through news articles, and then my cousin actually suggested I look on Reddit if I want to find the real deal.
But by night, he's part of the hundreds of thousands of people who flock to sites like Reddit to sift through the latest information in the University of Idaho murders and debate the many aspects of the Bryan Kohberger investigation.
And I actually had never used Reddit. I didn't even know how to use it, how to find communities, posts, etc. And then she showed me one community, and then I just got immediately sucked in and went so deep into every crevice of every theory at that time, and now can't get enough.
In the immediate days and weeks following the gruesome murders, the number of discussion groups on websites like Reddit and Facebook exploded. With no named suspects in the murder investigation, internet sleuths began poring over the few details of the case. As we previously discussed, some internet users incorrectly identified innocent people and charged them on social media with crimes they were innocent of. Others tried to find links between the few people randomly caught up in the tragic events, such as the food truck employees and the DoorDash driver who delivered late-night snacks to Xana Kernodle. Even the personal lives of the victims' families became fodder for the chat forums.
Just to let you know, I did do a video on all the people that were wrongfully accused. It was like a minute and some long of just pictures of people with names.
When Xana Kernodle's mother, Kara, was detained on November 19th on drug-related charges, many on the internet tried to link her to the murders. Here's the anonymous Reddit user speaking with producer Jeff Shane.
People are invested in the story. They want it to go longer. And like, I can't help but like read some of these comments and like see some justification in it. It's kind of like the saying where there's smoke, there's fire. And so everyone kind of latches onto everything. So whether it's that Uber driver that talked about the house to someone, that combined with the fact that a couple of their parents were drug addicts or were arrested on drug charges, that maybe some of them seemed on drugs in police videos when police had to show up for noise complaints. And so then you string all these individual things together, but then the fact that Bryan was an ex-drug addict. So like, I don't know, like it's hard to make sense of all of that. And everything kind of seems like a coincidence one way or the other, that maybe it was drugs. Maybe Bryan was involved because it was involving drugs. That's one way to make the connection. Or maybe because it was drugs and serious drugs and their parents, that this is like a cartel and the kids had to pay for something the parents did. I mean, you could just go so crazy, but still kind of plausible.
I'm curious what your answer is. Why this case? Why do you think you're so invested in it?
You know, it's really interesting. Like, I don't know. My first thought about why I was interested in it is because it feels like it could happen to anyone in a college town like that. When you hear on Reddit people being like, oh, it was a huge party house. Oh, they didn't lock the door. Okay, but we didn't lock the door either. And there were strangers in all the time, you know, in and out. You didn't know who anyone could be, if they were supposed to be there, if they weren't. And so I think part of it is around the fact that it could just happen to anyone.
When Bryan Kohberger, then an unknown 28-year-old criminology student, was arrested on December 30th, nearly 7 weeks after the murders, the chat forums responded with a flurry of reactions.
When they made the arrest of Bryan in end of December, it was kind of like the Reddit community was kind of like pissed. Not whether or not at that time it was him or not, but that kind of their rogue investigation was over. And so the boards went quiet for a while, right after New Year's. And then I think it was when the affidavit came out, when the list of items that they seized from his house came out, then it reignited everyone, kind of lit a fire under everyone's ass to challenge some more concrete information about him.
Here's Jeff and Stephanie.
Since Kohberger's arrest, sites like Reddit and TikTok have poured over every detail of his life and his possible connection to the victims.
And after Kaylee's father suggested that there may in fact have been a connection between Kohberger and his daughter, many people online speculated that Kohberger was literally stalking Kaylee and that maybe that was the motive for the murder.
Yeah, Steph, one poster speculated that Kaylee or Madison met Kohberger at the Mad Greek, the restaurant they worked at downtown, saying, didn't Kaylee and Madison work at a vegan restaurant? Isn't he vegan?
No.
And for the record, we've said in the past, Mad Greek, where they
No. Kaylee and Xana worked there. I mean, Maddie and Xana, sorry. I was looking at Kaylee when I said it.
worked is a pizza shop, not a vegan restaurant. And the owner has publicly said there is no record of Kohberger ever eating there, but that has not stopped the online rumor mill.
Others also continued the debate about Kohberger's possible motive, saying that Ethan and Kaylee were just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that maybe Madison and Xana were the real targets since Kohberger actually went to their bedroom. Again, so much of this is just speculation.
But through all these posts, one thing is clear. Uninformed theories become facts and misinformation spreads like wildfire.
Everyone becomes a lawyer. You don't have to prove that he's innocent. You just have to prove that he's not guilty. And so with that mentality, everyone is just looking for every single hole that they can anywhere, whether it's cell phone tower pings that put him there 13 times, that can a cell phone tower ping from 25 miles away, which would still put him where he was at home? When the police put out the original request or the identification of the Hyundai, they said it was like 2010 or to a 2013 model. Then why all of a sudden did they figure out it was a 2015 model and it was actually Bryan's? And how can an expert get this 2010 to 2013 classification wrong? Then there's another thing that they're poking holes in around.
Do you think that he could have got the classification, like the year wrong on the car? Because maybe, like, okay, so maybe all the video that they have on Bryan, like Bryan's vehicle isn't the greatest, like, right? Like maybe some videos you have him where you can see who's in the vehicle. Maybe there's some videos where you can't see who's in the vehicle. And maybe the person that saw the first got, you know, the material to look at the car, maybe they had only gotten like one video, right? One video to go off of. And it was one where he was going by pretty quick and you couldn't really tell until he got, you know, the expert got like more details and got more, you know, like video of the vehicle. And then he was like, oh, wait a second, this looks more like a 2015, because they do look very similar, if not exactly the same.
The sheath and like the touch DNA, it went to a lab in Idaho first and nothing was found apparently. And then it was transferred to a lab in Texas. That's where they found the touch DNA that matched Bryan's. And whether or not that's just because it's a better lab, or did police tamper with it during transit to frame Bryan doing that?
I've never read that even the sheath got transferred. Is that officially true? Or
so that's the thing with this whole Reddit thing, is when you read 70 theories about something and you can find yourself believing every single one, I can't keep track of, honestly, what is real.
Oh, well, this guy's great to have on the podcast.
Or not. It just all gets jumbled. And so then if you have a bunch of potentially true facts,
we got some guy that gets his information from Reddit.
And you can string them together in any...
This is what I'm saying when it's called Circus of Murder.
Any coordinated effort, you can make yourself believe anything.
Not me.
It doesn't really matter what's true or not true. It just matters if you get the most upvotes, I guess.
Yeah, seriously. If you get the most upvotes, or if it's the most sensational of all the facts that I read that day, I'll remember that fact. And then when I read a new fact, I'll compare it to that. And I can string them together and make myself believe Bryan's wrongly being held right now.
What do you think happened? He did it, but why? And what are the circumstances?
I think he was obsessed with one of them. I don't know which one it was, whether it was Maddie or Kaylee. I don't know. I think it is a lot simpler, which I think is also why people are trying to grasp for straws with all these other far-fetched theories. I think he was obsessed with one of them. I kind of believe maybe he met one of them at a restaurant they were working at and then stalked them. And then I don't know what the motive would be that night, because then it gets weird with all the other people in the house. The one thing I will say, I keep saying I think it's simple, but then I'm like, with all those people in the house, how could one person have done it? And then, like, was he maybe just a getaway car? But do you see how I'm spiraling from something very simple I just believed? And I can't stay on that very simple fact, because then it does just get complicated. When everything first happened, everyone was obsessed with this DoorDash man. Then we got the victim, then had Bryan as the potential murderer. And now everyone's gotten so far down so many rabbit holes. Why have we forgotten about this DoorDash man? Like, it hasn't been a topic of conversation, when it feels like if he was there 4 minutes or 7 minutes before everything started, that seems really like tight timing.
Let's stop here for a break. We'll be back in a moment. This far-reaching and endless public debate where information is twisted and distorted is one of the main reasons Leda County Judge Megan Marshall initially instituted and expanded the gag order surrounding the case. Both Kohberger's attorneys and the prosecution support the gag order to protect Kohberger's right to a fair trial. 6 months after Kohberger's arrest, the courts heard a motion in June by a coalition of media organizations to lift the gag order.
The media coalition was fighting for the non-dissemination order to be altered in an effort to be able to report more of the facts of this case.
Wendy Olson, an attorney representing journalists, argued the gag order leads to rampant speculation and removing it would improve the coverage of the case, adding that there were other tools the legal system could use to protect a defendant's right to a fair trial. This includes moving the trial to a different city or asking potential jurors if they are willing to be impartial in the case. The judge dismissed those ideas as complicated, time-consuming, and costly. Shannon Gray, an attorney for the Gonzalez family, also pushed the judge to lift the restrictions, saying he should be able to speak for Kaylee's family. The judge, however, seemed unlikely to ease the restrictions. During the 6-hour hearing, the media coalition also requested that cameras be allowed in the courtroom for the trial and argued that media coverage and publicity in and of itself is not prejudicial. However, Kohberger's attorneys pushed back on the request, saying that past descriptions of Kohberger published in print as, quote, cold and like a demon, and video clips of him blankly staring forward in court could prejudice potential jurors against Kohberger.
Okay, which one of y'all said he looked cold and like a demon? Which one of y'all said it? I never heard that. That must be a tiki-talker saying that one. I want to know where you're getting your information from. Reddit?
Leda County Judge Joe Judge said he would think about the motions and would issue a written order in the days to come. Gag orders, while rare, are often used in high-profile cases like in the Half Bay Moon murder investigation and the Jodi Arias trial, or any case where the national spotlight burns bright.
The personal investment is interesting. I mean, I even see it on comment boards and stuff like that. People are so interested. We had this interest in it from the start before Bryan Kohberger's name was associated with the case, right? Because it was this killing in a small town for college students at the precipice of beginning their lives. And that in and of itself created drama around the case before Mr. Kohberger's name came into it.
Kirk Nurmi was Jodi Arias' defense lawyer. In 2013, she was tried and convicted of murdering her ex-boyfriend, Travis Alexander.
Why are they always talking about
Her
her?
trial remains a cautionary tale of what can go wrong when a circus-like atmosphere is allowed to develop around a high-profile trial.
She was the circus. What do you mean? She was doing the freaking yoga in the interrogation room when they walked out. Do you guys remember that? Back in 2007. She offed her boyfriend. He wasn't her boyfriend anymore. Travis said he didn't want her no more. And she didn't take too kindly to that. But what?
Cheers erupted as soon as the word came down.
Wow.
Look back now, we're at the 10-year anniversary of the Arias verdict, and you know, you can
from the verdict, but it was back in 2007 when it happened.
see pictures of people crowding the sidewalk between the court buildings just to be there for the verdict.
History is
Well, the public has every right to be there for the verdict. And if they feel like they think that somebody's guilty and they get a guilty verdict, I'm sorry. But some people, I'm not saying Bryan, I'm saying in some cases, look at the OJ case when he was not guilty. Everyone freaked out over that.
is full of high-profile murder investigations and trials that turn into public spectacles. The Jodi Arias trial surpassed almost all of them because it was one of the first significant social media events of the social media era. At first, the case received very little attention outside of Arizona, despite the sensational details.
Travis Alexander was found dead in his shower. He was shot in the face, stabbed 27 times, and his throat was slit from ear to ear.
Ugh.
Friends of Travis Alexander found his mutilated body in his apartment after he failed to show up to work. It was a gruesome murder scene. Among the evidence police recovered from the site was a digital camera with sexually explicit photos of Arias and Alexander from the day he was murdered. The final shot was of him bleeding profusely in the bathroom. Investigators also found a bloody palm print and DNA belonging to Jodi Arias. Later in the summer, Arias was arrested and charged with murder. The first interest in the case only appeared when Jodi Arias gave a few jailhouse interviews.
No jury is going to convict me.
Why not?
Because I'm innocent. And you can mark my words on that one. No jury will convict me.
Yeah, they did.
But even the initial interest following Jodi Arias' declaration of innocence on TV was minor compared to the current fascination with the University of Idaho murders.
It's a little different than the Kohberger situation. It wasn't quite in the headlines the way Kohberger was. I mean, you think about Kohberger, the murders, his name wasn't associated with it yet, of course, but those murders in Moscow, being in a college town, when it was a whodunit, certainly caught the attention of the nation before any arrests were made. But Kohberger's was right from the start when these bodies were found. The manhunt was underway. The media got onto the manhunt and certainly was there all throughout his apprehension, his arrest. There's a huge media presence in this case from the get-go.
Because of this intense public interest, every minor police announcement or court appearance by Kohberger is followed, reported on, and heavily scrutinized. This interest, however, could potentially impact Kohberger's right to a fair trial.
If I were to file a pretrial motion in the Arias trial, I would walk into court and walk out like it was John Smith. No one would care. When Kohberger files a motion and they have a court hearing, everybody's going to care. And that's a distinctive.
And that makes it harder because no one likes to do their job under a microscope.
No one likes to do their job under a microscope, but because it just becomes more of a production. It alters the court of public opinion, right?
This unique and intense interest by the media and the public has the potential to alter the jury pool.
Ultimately, all these things are going to be in the headlines, and they're ultimately going to be things that will be of consequence when voir dire happens, when they ultimately begin to sit the jury. So, for example, this motion requesting DNA, right? If I were to file a similar motion during Arias, a prospective juror would not have known about that, more than likely. In this case, that might not be true. And so it's not the microscope so much as it is the publicity and how that will infect a potential jury pool. Because ultimately, Jeff, think about it. The rubber meets the road at trial, not in all these different circumstances, right? The rubber meets the road at trial. So when you have publicity engaging from the get-go, from before a suspect is identified, opinions for potential jurors begin to form.
It's impossible to fully circumvent those preconceived notions. Is that what you're saying?
Right. It can be, and it also raises the prospect of covert jurors. Let's say somebody decides they know Kohberger's being framed, or they know he's guilty. They could get on that panel and dodge their way into a trial if they want, or if they wanted to be on the panel in hopes of seeking fame. And so that's why I think there's that difference is so huge, Jeff. But if you think about the dynamics of where the rubber meets the road, that jury, that publicity in Kohberger that began from the discovery of the murders makes things qualitatively different.
How did you, as a public defender, and how do you think Kohberger's attorneys will combat that? I mean, certainly the jury is not supposed to take that into account, but how could they not?
Right, and there's no jury, so there's this massive public, and the public that consume the information before they ever become jurors or potential jurors, right? So, there's a lot of things I think that are going on at this point in the case for his attorneys, and because the death penalty is a specter that looms over this case, really what his attorneys are doing now are tasked with not only investigating the case and challenging the evidence that the state is bringing forward in their effort to convict Mr. Kohberger of murder, they are looking at investigating his life from conception to the day of his arrest so they can create a case for mitigation. And while this is going on, of course, they happen to do all this, I guess, with the specter of the presumption of guilt in the court of public opinion and trying to fight against that, trying to fight the evidence as it were.
Because Kohberger's case, like Jodi Arias's, involves the potential for the death penalty, Kohberger's lawyers must work to both build a defense and also an argument against the death penalty if he is convicted. The intense public interest makes defending Kohberger challenging.
ultimately, they're going to be fighting this presumption of guilt, of course, and they're going to want to do everything they can to collect all the evidence. You know, we see that they're going after the DNA. They believe the DNA might be exculpatory, meaning favorable to their client. So they're going to go after those things. And they're going to go after other things like in terms of building a case for life. They're going to go after school records. They're going to go after everything in his past that might be help shed some light on if, in fact, he did commit this case, why a jury should grant him life. So there's really two prongs that are going on here, and it's certainly made much more difficult with that media specter because anybody that could maybe be helpful to Mr. Kohberger probably isn't too excited about coming forward because of that media specter being involved in the case. Because, you know, a death penalty case is something that automatically goes up to the U.S. Supreme Court if a sentence of death is imposed. They're going to need to be very vigilant in the defense they provide Mr. Kohberger. And that is on two fronts, both for life and for confronting the evidence. Presenting a defense in a case like this, in a death penalty case, is not a job for the timid. I mean, you have to go forward in the face of all this vitriol against your client and go forward and seek out that exculpatory information. So they're going to do that. We've seen that they are, you know, in terms of the preliminary hearing, they are seeking the surviving roommate's testimony.
By the time Jodi Arias went to trial 4 years after murdering Travis Alexander, interest in the case had grown, but it exploded once a jury was selected and the trial began.
When Jodi Arias finally reached trial in 2013, it was a case that had been going on for years, and the publicity was comparatively small. Before the trial, people tend to think about her trial as being a huge sensation, and it was, but it wasn't a huge sensation really until it began. She had given those interviews with ABC, Inside Edition, etc. But the Kohberger case was a media sensation from the start. So ultimately, when they get to the point that they are picking a jury, it's not going to be whether or not the jury has heard anything about the case, or the potential jury members have heard anything about the case. It's whether they form judgments about the case that cannot be altered. There are people out there now who have heard the case, have seen what they've seen, and believe that he is guilty. There might be people that believe that he is wrongly charged. And what you need to do when you're searching out a jury is to find people that are not formally held in the belief and that are open to hearing the evidence. Because right now, let's face it, the evidence that the public knows is, just a scant portion of what is known to the police, the authorities, and presumably the defense attorney.
That's an interesting point, that we think we know everything and we know just probably a fraction, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I would say generally speaking, the public probably knows about 10% of the actual evidence that's really going on in the case.
Look at that, 10%. Wow.
Let's stop here for another break.
Okay.
With so much of the information and evidence still yet to be made public, the Idaho judicial system is trying to combat what will likely be a massive cultural event.
When Kohberger goes to trial, it is going to be a lot like the Arias trial when it became more popular in the public zeitgeist. I mean, if cameras are allowed in the courtroom, obviously we are going to see every bit of movement in the courtroom. We're going to see everything that surrounds the trial, outside of the trial. You know, we're going to see packed courtrooms. We're going to see people standing outside. I think when Mr. Kohberger, should his case reach trial, you're going to see that kind of mentality, that kind of, it becomes a trial in the courtroom as best as it can, but it becomes a cultural event as well.
Jodi Arias was ultimately convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison, but many legal analysts believe the circus surrounding the trial impacted the prosecution's ability to secure the death penalty.
As someone who's been in it and is now removed from it, is that okay, you think, or is that an unhealthy interest that we as a society have?
It's hard to say, but I hate to see trials become sporting events, right? And justice has to prevail more than anything, right? And We see people that offer testimony under scrutiny, judges under scrutiny for having done nothing. It becomes closer to public stoning, doesn't it? When we expose and attack people for their involvement in these cases.
Here again, Jeff and Stephanie.
Jodi Arias' trial started on December 10th, 2012. And in the scheme of things, that was the infancy stage of social media. Sure, Reddit and Twitter existed, but people didn't use them like they do today.
Makes you wonder what the online community would have done to that case if it happened today.
And of course, Jodi Arias was found guilty for murder, but there really was this pitchfork mentality back then, and it probably would have been much more intense today in 2023.
With so much at stake, including Kohberger's right to a
Hold
fair
on.
trial,
Let's just admit here, hold on, no. Let's just admit here that there would be a slew of people that would be on her side because of the way that she looks. Let's just admit that. Let's just admit that right now. Because that's what, just happened. What happens with Bryan Kohberger.
presiding judge during Kohberger's hearings appeared unwilling to remove the gag order. However, nearly 7 months after Kohberger was arrested and in response to the motion to ease the gag order, Judge Joe Judge did agree to loosen the non-dissemination order.
Prosecution and defense attorneys can now speak on some matters related to the case.
The families of the 4 victims are still allowed to speak publicly, but their lawyers remain barred from talking. Reddit, along with several other social media websites, has tried to clean up some of the most outrageous group chats. The subreddit Bryan Kohberger's Girls, which was known for discussions about Kohberger's skincare routine and fawning posts about how hot the 28-year-old is, was banned for repeatedly violating Reddit's code of conduct. Despite this small change, millions of true crime enthusiasts and would-be crime solvers continue to dissect and debate every aspect of the murders on social media and in public forums across the country. More on that next time. For more information on the case and relevant photos, follow us on Instagram.
I thought it was muted or unmuted. Where are you going, Aries? Oh wait, I didn't see the sorry, I didn't see the top message. Oh, LA Rights. Yeah, let me know about them. Just come in, stop in, and just, say, hey, this is what's going on. I understand that though. But don't be too far from me, Aries, because I'll come looking for you. Hold on, let me get this screen off so I can be looking at you when I'm saying this. Hold on, let me turn my camera on. Don't go too far, Aries. I want to make sure I can find you when I need you. I just was talking about you a minute ago. About how you always have my back. So, I'm going to need you to always have my back. Going to need you to do that. Sorry, Aries, you're stuck. You're stuck with me. But I understand if you need to check out for a little while. This world is crazy. We're actually going to talk about how crazy this world is, starting, and within true crime anyways. I'm going to lower my seat just a tad bit there. Oh, let's put the fan on me a little bit. Oh, and over here I can see the people, when you get your little crowns and stuff, it's cute. If you guys don't know, what the crowns mean, because a lot of people have been asking me about them. The crowns are in the 1, 2, 3, beside the name. It is basically just how active you are being in the chat. If you come in and you're active in the chat, it said on there, if you go to the little settings icon, it'll tell you this also. So I'm not pulling your leg, but it said that if you do that, or if you send super chats, super thanks, and you're active in the chat, you have to be both. Then you'll have a higher chance of getting it. But some people lost their numbers just after they would say one thing to someone else and they would reply. I don't know. It was weird, but that's how they go. And then if you go to the community board, you can see everybody's standing, everybody's number for today. It's pretty cool. You don't have to be number 1. You could work your way up. Okay, Aries, that's all I ask. I know, I am too, Aries, I am too. Oh, and thank you for saying I'm the best creator. I appreciate it. Aries, that's so sweet of you. Yeah, don't go too far, because I'll really be sad if I don't see you. Just go to 1 chat a day. That's what I try to do. Try to just, man, it's crazy. It resets every it resets every live. So every live that you come in, it resets. Yeah. Yeah, I understand that. We were actually going to talk about how crazy things can be when it comes to like true crime and including myself and put myself out there because I'm a creator too. And like web sleuths and not the people web sleuths, but like, web sleuths or people that sleuth, or people that are creators, content creators on the platform, either whether it's like, YouTube, TikTok, Kick, Rumble, Twitch. There's a million different streaming devices or streaming apps, that you can like get on and do a live on. Some of them are a little more restricted, like you have to have a certain amount of subscribers. I think on YouTube, someone was saying it was like 50. When I got my channel, the numbers were a lot higher you had to reach to do things. And I swear when I got my second channel, I had to have like 500. So I don't know. Maybe that was demonetized. But either way, on TikTok, you have to have like 1,000. That helps, I guess, like whittle down. It's supposed, I would think it would help whittle down people from, putting out complete like bull crap, right? Because they do have a platform like they worked for, they had to gain a certain amount of subscribers or followers in order to go live or, get their like videos pushed out. But there's a fine line between covering a case like the right way and the wrong way. And it's really easy to cover a case the wrong, just like get caught up into the drama of a case, there still is a lot of drama in the Idaho 4 case. There's always been a drama in this case, whether it's, blaming Jeremy, the neighbor, for him, saying that he did this, committed this crime to the point that he had to go out and get a gun because he felt like he was scared for his safety, to to creators actually getting involved with the family so much so that they're dating the family members now. Like, it's on both sides of the board, y'all. It's on both sides of the board. So, and I have no problem with, Olivia and Steve Jr. dating or anything. I'm just saying that's what happens, right? That's what happens, I guess, when you have people covering cases. And there's some people that shouldn't cover true crime cases. There are a lot of people out there that shouldn't cover true crime cases. And we're going to we'll get into that a little bit tonight, but not like, super into that. I'm just going to show you a couple things that I pulled up that I could remember right off the top of my head. And it's not just this case, it's at all cases. This case just it's so big, it's still big, and it was big to where the people, I don't know, it's gone over a longer amount of time. Maybe that's what it is too. It's been 2 years. Nothing, not like the Sebastian case, that case got so bad that people left and they stopped talking about the case because there was so much drama. So, and yours truly included. We stopped talking about it months ago. There was nothing to talk about. I wasn't going to regurgitate anything. We were going to move on. That case, this case and that case took on a life of its own, but this case did take on a life of its own. I've had to learn through this case, really, how I want to be as a creator and how I want my channel to go and like what I want to put out and what I don't want to put out there. It's so easy to get views if you clickbait people in with your title, or I could do that. You could put disgusting things like blood on your thumbnails with the victims on there. Like that drags people in. I don't know why that does, but some people are deranged and they love that. So they, that's what they go in. You can just, I don't know, you can do a lot of things, but I don't know, it's just this case has been out of control. I've been on a live to the point where it was April, I believe, of 2023. and this is bad if I know if it really was April, I should go back and look for that video. If I could figure, we just have to look for the Linda Lane video. I'm about to go back and pull that thing, man, for you guys. If not, go watch it later. It's a good one. I mean, I was so mad. I was crying on that live. And then not only did I cry, all of a sudden, you know how when you're crying, you get really mad? Like you're just like, you're mad because you're crying. So then you get really mad. That's what happened. So you saw me come out of pocket. And I was just like, after that, I had to reevaluate. I was like, you're letting people on the internet get you upset, like over a case. And that's not how you want to act. You don't want to act like that. So I took a vacation, still had content the whole week I was gone. And we ended up really, after I came back, everybody was cool in the chat. I was cool. You probably were in here, Ash, when it happened. But you knew, I mean, Vincent was like, oh my God. When I walked out, he was like, I've never seen that part, like, side of you. And I'm like, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me for a minute. I try, Jet Set. I really do. I try to keep it classy over here. But it does get, I mean, not hard, but like, it would be easy to, I'm going to present this real quick. It would be easy to get into the drama. It's that'd be so much easier. Like then if I could just like, if I were that person, like if I wanted this channel to be like a drama channel, which I don't, not interested. I could sit here all day and just pull up a video and not even have to like nothing before. Just pull up the video when I come on my live, hit the live button, pull up the video and just commentate. Like, you know what I mean? Just talk about the person. But I like to think, I don't know. I want my brain to continue to work very well. And so I like to cover the cases because it helps me, you know, it helps me concentrate. Like, and just, I feel better whenever I think, you know, like every night, even though I think I know everything about the Idaho 4 case, I still have to think about the show, what I'm going to put together, how I'm going to do what I'm going to do it on, how I'm going to tie the podcast into whatever content I can figure, you know what I mean? Figure it out, what we're going to talk about. It's just, I don't know. It's a thing. It's a thing you do. But then there's people that will just shit on these victims, in my opinion, by coming on this platform and not being prepared, not doing any research or putting out fake research, right? And not just doing your due diligence. I mean, if you make a mistake, you make a mistake. Shoot, we all do it. I'd probably make one mistake a night. And you know what I mean? I don't really think I do that, but you know, I think I make mistakes, and you guys tell me sometimes I don't catch it myself, and you're like, hey, Tanya, you know, but we're all friends here. And I'm like, oh yeah, excuse me, I did that. Or you know what I mean? It's cool to be wrong, but some of these people were just, they're getting under my skin. Yeah, Captain, me too. I canceled all mine except for 2, and I'm just on the fence. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm on the fence on whether to keep them. You know who? Hey, Demon Dog. I don't know. Aries, I'm not sure. I know that her and some people were going back and forth, but I don't know who it was. But TikTok is bad. Is it bad over there with the Idaho 4? I don't know. I don't watch the Idaho 4 content. I put out Idaho 4 content, but I don't watch it. But I do have people that will come into like my comments and be like, someone asked me even actually on YouTube to remove a video that I posted. It was the video that I asked you guys. This was the worst part about the video. About the bear spray. Remember about the bear spray? And I said, do you think that could have been what took Ethan down? That is not like horrific to me, like as compared to like what we know now that happened to Ethan. Do you know what I mean? I never said anything about anything like just that, you know, and I was like, because I'm just curious. I didn't know what bear spray really could do to somebody. And someone was like, will you remove this video? Or you need to remove this video. That's what they said. You need to. And I'm like, oh, you done told me I needed to do something. So I said, no, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. If they would have asked me nicely, maybe I would have thought about that. But like, 'cause I don't make nothing off of shorts. So, you know what I mean? Like, but I'm just like, man, you'd be rude. So I made this little presentation today for you guys, but and we'll go over it as we're talking about the case because it'll help me get back on track. But in the case of the Idaho 4 murders, as with other high-profile cases, the extensive coverage by true crime channels and online communities have had a complex impact with both potential benefits and significant drawbacks. Misinformation and false accusations, and I meant to put an underline under there. The intense public scrutiny and rush to discuss the case online, especially on platforms like YouTube and TikTok, has led to the spread of misinformation and the wrongful accusations of individuals not involved in the crime. Yeah, that has. And these are just like overall. So, like, you know, it's not this case, but it's just like overall now and, you know, all cases. But that's, you know, one of the biggest ones. Harming investigations. So, you know, and I think that speculating a little bit, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Like, at all. As long as you're not going like all the way out in left field with it. Do you know what I mean? Like, speculating, asking questions, that's normal. That's normal human behavior. You're going to have questions. You're going to have, you know, that's just what, you know, you're going to have an opinion. I mean, look, I have an opinion, and sometimes my opinion isn't the one that everyone likes, but it's just my opinion. I don't do it to intentionally garner views or intentionally want to harm the investigation or harm the family members, or, you know what I mean? I don't do anything like that. I just really stay away from it. You're not going to see me over here yelling about Steve Gonzalez. I have no problem with him. I think he's a great guy. But you will see other creators doing that. And these are real people, and like, you know, they don't get to just turn this shit off. They don't get to just turn off, you know, the computer or walk away from it, or set the phone down and walk away from it and everything goes back to normal. And that just really gets me irritated. But speculation and unfounded theories disseminated online can distract investigators and create a deluge of irrelevant tips and require valuable time to sift through. So yeah, that's very much so. Prejudicing trials. The extensive media coverage can potentially taint the jury pool, making it difficult to find an unbiased jurors and impacting the fairness of the trial. Could do that. But I feel like, I don't know, if they can get a trial for, you know, some of the people we were just talking about earlier, like Jodi Arias, Casey Anthony, OJ Simpson, Michael Jackson back in the day. You know what I mean? Like, if they can get like juries for these people, I think they can get a jury for Bryan Kohberger. I wonder how many people like really know how much they know about this case. I should go to the mall and do like one of those like surveys. Like you see YouTubers, like street YouTubers or something, they have like the microphone, and asking people just like, what do you know? So you can re-traumatization of victims and families. The constant discussion and speculation surrounding the tragic events can cause a significant distress to the victims' families who are already grappling with immense grief, especially on a day like today. Ethical concerns. Some true crime content focuses on sensationalism and dramatic narratives, potentially exploiting the victim's tragedy and prioritizing entertainment over factual reporting and ethical considerations. And those are the people that I feel like should not be in true crime. Like, okay, anybody that's in the trauma community, please stand up. And there's a door to the back. Walk out the door. Walk down the block, about 10 blocks. And you'll make it to the drama community, because the traumas community is gone. It's gone. I'm yanking that. That is not going. I'm yanking that genre out of YouTube. I hate that name. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Because there should be no drama in true crime, right? You should be talking about the facts of the case, going over the trial, going over whatever you need to go over, you know, to get the information put out there in a way that it doesn't harm the families, and it doesn't harm the investigation. And there's a lot of people out there that don't give a fudge. And I just don't understand how you can't care. Like how you just can't care, because that's what it comes down to. Like, it's not that these creators are giving you misinformation, they're giving you disinformation. They're doing it on purpose. Y'all, if they've been covering this case like as long as I have and for as much as I have, right? And they're feeding you the same stuff over and over and over and over and over, I don't know. And you know it's bull crap, call it out. Because some of this stuff is just bull crap. It's just out of control. It is. It's just out of control. So potential positive impacts. I get some positive in here. Increase public awareness. So true crime coverage can bring attention to unsolved cases and raise awareness about issues within the criminal justice system. Sorry. Generating tips. In some cases, the increased exposure can lead to new tips and information that assist law enforcement in their investigations. Resource allocation. High-profile cases receiving media attention may lead to increased resources being allocated to the investigation. I think they just said they signed for more money for the Idaho case. And this is in summary, but there is one more page because I wasn't done after I thought I was done. In summary, while true crime media can contribute positively to some aspects of criminal investigation, the potential for misinformation, ethical breaches, and negative impacts on victims and the legal process should be carefully considered, especially in ongoing cases like the Idaho 4 murders. And then it says it's crucial. I put this. It's crucial for anyone reporting on sensitive cases like this to be mindful of ethical guidelines. So ethical guidelines that I think would be including accuracy and verification, ensuring information is accurate and verified before sharing, including myself. I've had like that happened to me during this case. In the beginning of this case, when Bryan got arrested, it wasn't Bryan got arrested, but we thought it was someone else. And I said that person's name. I can't even tell you the person's name now, but I thought it was from someone that would be an accurate. I should have known better. But I wasn't that new. I was like 4 months in to the platform, but still, I shouldn't have done that. And I think we all do that, but if you keep doing it over and over and over and over in every case, in every single case, and you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm a creator. I get things wrong sometimes, or I'm probably wrong about this because I'm wrong about everything. And you're laughing about it. Like, then no, you're not being mindful, Respect for privacy, avoiding the publication of private or confidential information, avoiding sensationalism and speculation, focusing on facts and avoiding unsubstantiated theories. And I mean, there's just so many. Considering the impact on victims and their families, showing compassion and avoiding the use of language or images that could cause further distress. Yeah. I remember somebody on the platform, they put like, the title was like YouTube, or not YouTube, sorry. It was on YouTube, but it was Moscow murders or something, like crime scene pictures or something like that. And the thumbnail was actually a Canva stock picture. Now that I have Canva, like I've had Canva for 3 years now, but after I saw it in the Canva, I was like, oh my gosh. And I didn't watch it because I knew it was fake, because I knew there wasn't any crime scene photos. But the person that posted it with it like this gory picture, but it wasn't that gory. Like, it was just enough to like get your attention, right? Like, that's what they wanted. But it didn't even look like the house. Like, I don't know. Like, I guess people just would click and not even realize it because they had a bunch of views on it. Come to find out, she was stealing content from other people. Forget the creator's name. But I am going to pull up some creators tonight that have done some crazy stuff in this case. Considering the impact on, balancing the public's right to know with the defendant's right to a fair trial, being mindful of the potential for pretrial publicity to prejudice the jury pool. Yeah. Okay. That's all I've got for you on there. So then I saw this video today and I thought this was like pretty entertaining, actually. Oh, Taco Bell run. I haven't had Taco Bell in forever. Hey, Kara. How you doing, Carl? I was going back just to read your chats a little bit. Oh, thanks, Carl. I appreciate that. Oh, this is just a like demonstration thing I put together for you. Sometimes, like, instead of writing it out on like my notes, I'll just put it in like a document kind of thing for you so we can all look at it together. Just makes it easier. I don't know. So this is from Como News, and I tried to get on like their site to see like the full video, but I think this was the full video. But it's pretty long, actually. I don't know how long it is, but we can play it. It's about web sleuths, like, you know, people that sleuth the internet. When I say web sleuths, I like, there's a creator and like, you know, the forums and everything that they have, like the online discussion forums. So they're called web sleuths. So I don't want to get them confused. Like, so, okay, let's play this here.
I have noticed myself.
Let's see if I can go back.
Just a few things I have noticed myself. Just
cyber detectives have eaten up any morsel of information, fueling national interest.
Just being a weird, you know, armchair detective.
I feel like it might be like someone who was jealous of them.
The people that are probably the suspects or involved are all flying home.
There was a lot of speculation and a lot of amateur sleuthing on TikTok and Reddit.
Thank you.
The Moscow Police Department really stopped doing repeated press conferences to update people.
TikTok and Reddit. They didn't say YouTube.
On where the investigation was leading them. So that turned people to go to these social media sites to try and solve it themselves.
Amateur sleuths have a role to play. They can keep the case alive. They can put pressure, informal pressure, on law enforcement and also the courts. They can play a critical role. They can also be a distraction.
We do not believe the following individuals are involved in this crime. The two surviving roommates.
Moscow police had to come out at a certain point and tell everybody that these people weren't suspects and cross them off the list because there was so much speculation.
Moscow Police Captain Roger Lanier also says this male in the grub truck surveillance video is not believed to be involved either.
A private party who provided rides home to Kaylee and Madison in the early morning hour of November 13th.
And they say that person is also not believed to be of interest.
Thank you.
This was one of those cases that captivated a lot of people's attention, and they were trying to solve it themselves because they felt like Moscow police were not advancing fast enough.
Yeah, it was real bad in the beginning. I bet if I looked up like creators or something that did cover the Idaho 4 case and I was like, I listened to a bunch of them, maybe it would be like craziness again in my head, but I'm cool on that. Oh, Ashley's over there. She's like, I gotta get some talk about right now. So I think that this is the girl that's on the podcast that we listened to. I don't know if it's this podcast or the Idaho 4 Massacre or Idaho 4. The killings on King Road. Maybe that's what it's called. But Keena Wentworth, but that's who it is. But this was from a couple of years ago and it popped up and I was like, oh, look at that. But it says how web sleuths have impacted the investigation of the Idaho college murders. So I thought we would go over this and then I'll read this article out for you guys. And I want to show you guys a couple of people's paid web pages too, or YouTube channels that just did the mostest. There's one of them I won't even go on her page because I don't want her back in my algorithm. I don't want to take that chance.
Kana Whitworth joins me now for more on this. Kana, you've been following this story from the very beginning. So what was it like covering this case with all these random people claiming that they had uncovered something about it?
Yeah, Diane, that created a real challenge, right? But the issue is that because authorities weren't saying a lot, there was this information vacuum, and it had to be filled, and it ended up being filled with these internet online sleuths with these wild accusations, and it became noise for me that I had to ignore. You know, Diane, we deal in facts here at ABC, and we're proud of that. And so you just have to ignore that noise. But I think what Maria pointed out so poignantly there is that these accusations that go into the internet, that go into the world, are not without real consequence. And when there's all these tips pouring in and authorities have to create a separate FBI call line just to sift through these, it takes a lot of time away from that investigation.
So, Kana, what do you make of the impact that social media has had on this case and the actual investigation? And how do you then balance that with the fact that in cases like this one and many others, police do need the public's help and ask for it outright?
Absolutely. I mean, Diane, we've seen cases like Gabby Petito, right, where people actually do help, right? They find a tip, they help solve the case, and sometimes this unfolds on social media. There really can be a benefit to that. But again, because there was so little actual information on this case in Idaho, these, online detectives really took off with, again, these wild accusations. And I would say it was really hard, particularly on the families, to hear some of these accusations. And sometimes they were at the forefront of that. And all the time, Diane, I think about Jack. I think about Kaylee's ex-boyfriend, who is still very close to her and her family. And the amount of accusations thrown at him were extremely detrimental. And this is a young man who was grieving, and he was hardly allowed that process.
I'm sure.
Let me tell you about Jack DeCord. There was a creator on this platform, and she decided to, it wasn't even a picture of his house, now that I'm thinking about it, because that's not even his house, dumbass. But anyway, she put up a picture of somebody's house. I don't know whose house it was. But she put an arrow down to it. And she said Jack DeCord's house. And she said, go get him. What? Are you out of your damn mind, lady? It was bad. It was so bad. It was so bad.
What a difficult, unimaginable process for him and the whole family.
Yeah.
Kana, your podcast.
Yeah. But when I saw that, I was literally floored. I was floored. I don't even know if I came on here and said something. I'm sure I did. But and now we see the pictures of him and Murphy and the videos and stuff of him on his Instagram. If you're not following that, it's Murphy Gonzalez on Instagram. But we see them out enjoying nature and just in the most beautiful places. Idaho is beautiful. I want to go there. I want to go there to visit. And it's sad though, because they're missing Kaylee. They're missing that other person.
The King Road Killings takes a deep dive on this story. So what can listeners expect to learn about it?
King Road Killings. We're going to go over that
Diane,
next, probably.
As we cover stories, it's kind of rare that we have the time and the space to pull at every single thread that we want to. And this podcast allows that. It also allows for people to...
Is Dateline on ABC? Isn't it? Or is it NBC? Oh, it's NBC. Wait. It's NBC. Okay. Because they got a lot of the, in this other podcast, and we're going to watch it. I would figure we'd probably watch it before the trial if we have time because I think the book's going to come for that James Patterson book, and I want to read that to you guys too. But she had a lot of information that wasn't in the probable, it wasn't in the probable cause affidavit or anything. I think one of the ending episodes, she said that Kohberger's, she was in like the Pennsylvania courtroom or something, and Bryan Kohberger's sisters and family was in there, and she saw them, and like they were all like crying, and she said some things that like we didn't know about that. Like we didn't know about like some of the stuff that she said. I don't know. Just I was wondering if it was the same, as Dateline, because they both have like information that wasn't released publicly before from sources. But a lot of people have sources. But I trust, I don't know. I trust Dateline.
To open up in a different and unique way than I've ever experienced. And so over the last 7 months, we've been talking with our sources. And so people who have been following the story really closely are going to hear new interviews. They're going to hear new details. But if you haven't been following the story closely, we will get you caught up very quickly. You won't be left behind.
So, Kana, where does the case stand now?
Right. So a reminder to everybody that
This
Bryan
was 2 years
Kohberger's
ago,
parents were
so.
subpoenaed by a secret grand jury in Pennsylvania, where he grew up. The next thing that's happening is tomorrow, in all likelihood, Bryan Kohberger will be in a Latah County courtroom again. This is because of the gag order. The Gonzalez family lawyer, Shannon Gray, is trying to get this gag order removed, as are several news organizations. So that happens tomorrow. But again, all eyes right now, Diane, are looking forward to his October 2nd trial date.
All right, Kana Whitworth. Thank you, Kana.
Oh, she's going to say something, but I don't know what she was going to say.
And you can watch the full.
Okay, never mind. It wasn't nothing important. Let me take these down. I have so many open tabs on this thing. Is it the 22nd? I can't remember. Oh, is he? He has a bunch of people that prepaid. June 22nd is supposed to come out. Let me check. Because Ethan Chapin's mom actually worked on her part, like Ethan's part, with him. Let's see. James Patterson, coming releases. Wait, oh wait, I didn't put Idaho 4. Right here. Yeah. It says will be published on July 14th. I was wrong about the date. I was thinking June 22nd. What the heck's June? What's June 22nd? Who knows? Maybe that's when you, I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know why I said June 22nd, but I was really confident in that. But you can pre-order it, and it says this title will be released on July 14th, 2025. Yeah, you heard it here first. But I know that, yeah, we read that Howard Bloom book, didn't we? Yeah, we read his words. We read his words. Okay, so let's do intermission. Just in case I get heated. I'm just kidding. I won't get heated. But it is Kaylee Jade Day today. It was, it would have been her 24th birthday. So I think this picture of her is perfect with like the beach. This says, do something that makes you happy and share with us by tagging Kaylee Jade Day. Oh, damn. I didn't know. I didn't read that part very good earlier. I have to send them a picture. I went to the pool. I went to the pool for an hour. There was no sun. I was like, I'm going to go to the pool anyway because I wanted to do something nice for myself. And that's what I think about all year long, is like being able to go to the pool. So I thought that would be nice. But Kaylee J Day, Kaylee lit up every day with joy on her birthday, June 8th. Let's celebrate her life by embracing the moment just like she did. Do more of what you love. So I thought that was cute. So, yep. And I put this on my community post today as well. So there's always that one guy that has to ruin it for everybody, right? Okay, well, we had that guy. Do you guys remember in the beginning of this case, if you were here in the beginning of Idaho 4, there was a guy that came out with a platform that was huge. I mean, 500,000 or more subscribers. And he comes out with this audio. And if you were to listen to this audio, and he tried to say it was Kaylee screaming. If you were to listen to this audio, you would be sick to your stomach. I mean, the person, whoever's screaming, it sounds like they are screaming for dear life. It does. It sounds bad. It sounds real bad. This person, though, had this huge platform. So everyone, not me, but a lot of people heard it and believed it. Like right off the rip. They were like, oh, yep, that's Kaylee. That's Kaylee. So that got sent around to everybody and their brother. It was Joseph Morris, right? Was it this guy? I think this is the right guy, right? I was going to ask Ashley because I know she'd remember him. But it ended up being, so what it was during the Banfield or something tape. He interjected it into the Banfield tape. He took this audio of this woman's domestic violence. She was recording it, or the boy at the time recorded it, but she was screaming bloody murder. I mean, this person there was a DV situation. And that was the voice that he took from off of the internet to overlay as Kaylee and told everybody that it was Kaylee screaming. It was sick. Like, who has the time? Who has the time to think of this stuff? Like, who has the brain, the capability to be like, I'm going to take this DV situation, this woman's most horrific, like one of her most horrific days of her life, right? And I'm going to take it and put it in this tape and really just jazz up this whole family that just lost their daughter and are having the worst time of their lives. Like, what between there and where you're at, your starting point, where do you get to a finished product and you think it's cool to put that out on the internet? I mean, for real. There is nobody that's, I mean, I can't even believe it, but he did it. And that's one reason why I don't watch a lot of videos when it comes to like the car and sounds and all of that, because your girl knows what people can do. I mean, you would have thought it was Kaylee because we never had heard Kaylee. At that point, there was no videos really out other than like the TikTok video that we saw. But that, you know what I mean? But you got her for like a second. Like, you know, so, and then her family sees that. Oh my God. Can you imagine being her father or her mother? Imagine Christy coming upon that. You know, they didn't know at first if that was true or not, if that was their daughter or not. The person screaming in the video, you probably can't tell who it is. It's just a woman screaming. So I don't know if I'd be able to tell that was like my daughter's voice or not. Do you know what I mean? When I heard it, like I might have been like, oh my God, like I just can't get down with that. I found this article that I found very amusing too. So we'll go over to it. But yeah. I have the While Idaho Slept too. Doodlebug. If you want to, I can always send it to you. We can exchange books. I have it. I haven't read it yet. I promised myself last summer I would read it at the pool. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'll just read it with you guys. It has pictures in it too in the middle of it. I don't know where it's at. I think it's in my closet. But like in my other closet in my room. But yeah. Yeah, right. See, Ashley, yeah. Like that's playing with mental health. Oh, I mean, all of this is a mental, you know, I couldn't, there are strong people. I know when you have to be strong, you're strong. Like I understand that, you know, I had to do that after my accident and I still have to do that, you know, some days, but like with other stuff, but I mean, nothing like this. I mean, when my father was killed in a car accident, they didn't just go and put it all over the internet. I couldn't even imagine it. Oh my God, I couldn't even imagine that. And that's just like something that just can happen, you know, it's not a murder. Imagine that. Imagine getting on the computer and your family member, like. It says, the University of Idaho murders show the hidden cost of America's true crime addiction. The public's fascination with true crime has led to endless docuseries, podcasts, and social media theories dedicated to infamous crimes and killers. But when an investigation is unfolding in real time, this obsession, especially when internet sleuths get involved, can have grim consequences for real people. Most recently, the murders of 4 University of Idaho students were found stabbed to death in an off-campus townhouse in the college town of Moscow, Idaho, becoming a breeding ground for misinformation and conspiracy theorists and amateur detectives dissecting the case on social media. On TikTok, the hashtag Idaho Murders and its many iterations have collected more than 1 billion views, with thousands of users posting updates and asking for answers. Do you remember when they said that? They said like so many people were covering this. It was like that. I don't know the exact numbers, but it was like 7,000 creators, and they can produce like 1 billion or like 3 billion views. That's even more than that. But like, and this and that. It was like, I think it was News Nation or something that broke it down, and I was just like, yeah, sounds about right. I mean, everybody was talking about this case online. I don't think that would have been weird if I didn't cover this case, I think. Because I mean, it's so high profile. Like, if you know what I mean, we never covered it to begin with. And we didn't quit on this case because my brain didn't get polluted with any weird information. Not too much weird information anyway. In the beginning, it got some stuff, but I've been like away from like a lot of channels. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't get a lot of information about the Idaho case. I just have to look online or documents. But it's good. That's good. That's a good thing. Sometimes you have to hit the 3 dots on, the YouTube video and just hit not interested, and you'll never see that creator again. Sometimes you have to. So fake theories, real people. Remember Rebecca Schofield? She was the University of Idaho professor. She was accused by a TikToker, Ashley Gilliard, who of involvement in the Idaho murder in a series of videos posted online. Schofield says the lies spread about her have caused her safety issues for her and her family. And we went, when Gilliard actually still had her TikTok, we went out on her TikTok and we watched her videos. We watched her spinning out of control. Like, this woman was, with every video, looking worse and getting worse. And no tarot card readings, no tarot cards except for one. And she was a tarot card reader. So there was that. Gilliard, a self-proclaimed clairvoyant who uses her abilities to help solve mysteries, told her more than 115,000 followers on the app that Schofield was romantically involved with one of the victims, Kaylee, and worked with another, Jack, to commit the murders in more than 50 videos starting around November 17th. Man. I can't remember when we watched them. Schofield served Gilliard with 2 cease and desist letters that were ignored. Even after police had charged and arrested Kohberger on December 30th, Schofield has since filed a lawsuit citing emotional distress from the public attention caused by Gilliard. Although users on Gilliard's most recent videos began telling her to stop posting videos about Schofield, saying things like, "You're still doing this," and "none of this happened," previous posts where Gilliard defamed Schofield have amassed at least 2.5 million likes, according to the lawsuit. Sorry, my leg was itching. It's like my scar itches. Gilliard declined an interview and did not respond to requests for comment. Probably not, because I think, like, I heard that she was hiding out in like another country. I don't know how true that is, but I wouldn't put it past her. In a statement to Time, Schofield's lawyer, Wendy Olson, said, "These untrue statements create safety issues for the professor and her family." I don't mean to laugh, but that lady, she was so far out there. They also further compound the trauma that the families of the victims are experiencing and undermine the law enforcement efforts to find the people responsible in order to provide answers to the families and the public. While Schofield has been the only one to take legal action, several others associated with the case have been accused online. I hope they all take action. I really do. I hope that Dylan and Bethany, I hope that them 2 girls, after this trial is over with, if they're found out to be A-OK, and I think that they are, I think they just went through something horrific, I hope that they sue everybody. Not me, though. Don't come after me, y'all. I didn't do nothing. But I do. because I know there's going to be a lot of creators once it gets starts to get closer to time. Remember this. Remember this. There's going to be a lot more people going after them than they are right now. I have a feeling they're going to ramp it back up again right before trial. I already read that. Sorry. A neighbor of the 4 University of Idaho students has been wrongfully accused by social media users. He told News Nation that people have been ruthless about getting information about his personal life. He added that he now carries a gun with him to get the extra sense of security. Man, poor Jeremy. They already contacted my friends asking questions about me, he said. And so who knows if someone's going to go so far as to try and confront me in person. I mean, that's true. If people are really blaming you for like unaliving 4 or killing, I could say killing 4 kids. I mean, I never looked at Jeremy like that. I thought it was a neighbor at first. Remember, I said I thought it was somebody. Well, I said somebody close enough to not be seen, but like far away enough to where like but still in the area. I said. Which I guess he's still tactically in the area. So a double-edged sword. David Schmid, a associate professor of English at the University of Buffalo College of Arts and Sciences, says that the public interest in high-profile cases can certainly bring forward attention and new information that can help investigators solve a case, but also comes with high cost. In the Idaho murders case, Gilliard is just one of many online personalities who has chosen to make accusations with little or no evidence. See, that's what I don't get. Like, how can you do that? Like, I mean, how do you get away with it? Tell me your secrets. Because you guys in the chat, if I tried to pull some backdoors crap with you guys, and I had a story that was so far out of this world, you guys would say something. You'd be like, are you feeling okay? Do you need a day off? Do you need some time? I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys would question me. No evidence. No, I mean, just nothing, you know? On December 9th, weeks before Kohberger, always ask for receipts, was arrested in connection with the murders, Moscow police released a statement about the influx of information circulating online, saying they were monitoring online activity related to the case and were aware of the large amount of rumors and misinformation being shared, as well as harassing and threatening behavior towards potentially involved parties. And we're going to get to another creator here in a minute after this, about that. Anyone engaging in threats or harassment, whether in person, online, or otherwise, needs to understand that they could be subjecting themselves to criminal charges. That is not to say all involvement in true crime is detrimental. Bystanders who were at nearby locations to Gabby Petito in the moments before her disappearance in September 22 uploaded TikToks, photos, and videos of their interactions with her and helped police narrow down their search efforts and ultimately find her body. And in the Idaho case, the Moscow Police Department reports that they received more than 19,000 tips from the community as of December 30th that were integral to arresting Bryan Kohberger. I'm going to say no. How are you going to get 19,000 tips on the same brother and he hasn't even lived there but a few months? No, I don't believe that. 19,000 tips on the same guy? Are we reading this right? Why is this in red? I'm opening this up. Okay, press release. Let's see. I'm going to read it. Right here. Throughout the investigation, the community took an intense interest in the case. Over 19,000 tips were received. This is what it really says. With over 9,000 through email, 4,500 by phone, and 6,000 digital media submissions. Investigators have conducted over 300 interviews. Doesn't say nothing there about 19,000 tips related to Kohberger. So I'm glad I'm quick with it, because I'm like, that's not right. I mean, that's not right. He doesn't even, you know what I mean? Like, there ain't even that many people in the town. Schmidt suggests that best of internet sleuthing, deep diving into criminal cases online is seen in projects like Serial, an investigative journalism podcast, who first season focused on the case of Aiden Sid, who was convicted of killing 18-year-old Hae Min Lee in 1999. With an average of more than 2 million listeners at the time of its release, Serial's popularity undoubtedly played a role in Sid's, I'm saying that wrong, Syed's? Let's see. Syed's eventual release last October. Citizen sleuthing into true crime can have dangerous impacts, though. Serial, for instance, was made by experienced journalists who took measures to fact check and share information in a manner that minimizes harm. TikTokers and other social media, however, often have little basis for their claims, yet with TikTok's more than 1 billion users, they are able to reach vast numbers of people. Yeah, you can grow your channel, like I heard, like on TikTok really quick. If you just post like a few times a day and it's trending and it's just like you're consistent, I heard that you can grow pretty quick over there. I don't know why I never have posted 3 times a day and tried to grow it over there, but I mean, I don't know. That would be a good idea. The internet has a tremendous impact in terms of allowing people who ordinarily wouldn't have access to media, influence in any way, shape, or form to provide input. In some cases, that's been a very good thing, but like everything else, it's a mixed bag. Schmid warns that the mass amount of information people have access to on a day-to-day basis often generates misinformation on a scale that is difficult to contain once it's out. That is the truth. And because there is a lack of trust in traditional arbitrators of information like the press and authorities, citizens feel that they have an equal right to comment and investigate. Yeah, I guess we do. Schmid believes social media companies should be responsible for taking down false accusations and misinformation in cases like the University of Idaho murders. I wish they could. I wish they could. I really wish they could. Obviously, the scale of the problem is so big, you're never going to be able to eliminate it entirely. But I think in cases like the one you're discussing, where the damage being done is so egregious, I think deplatforming is a very good response to that. I mean, I wonder if that was the thing though. Like, like if you sit there and you misinformation if they're reading your chat AI conversation and it's like, oh yeah, they were talking about how they lie all the time. That's probably not good. It's probably not good. Probably should deplatform them or just demonetize them. Deplatform them. Actually, I lied. Oh, I'd rather, yeah. I'm like, I'd rather this. Okay, so let me go back one. Where was that? I want to make sure I don't lose it. Okay. Hold on a second. What just happened with this? Maybe I need to refresh it. It was like right on the, it's still like right at the top, but I was trying to see if it was. Maybe it's because I played it. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to share this tab. This is T-Rev's channel. Okay. So when you go to his homepage earlier today, when I went to his homepage, right up at its top of his thing was Bryan Kohberger, called into my show. Allegedly, it said it was allegedly. And I was like, oh, okay. So he did put allegedly on there. All right. Cause it's one of his like main videos that he has like on the top of his page when you go on there. Like if I were to probably go on my phone, it'd be back up there. But he did it again a year ago. So he had it from 2 years ago, the same video. And then he just decided to take apart. Okay. So this is the story. T-Rev got busted out during the Maddie Soto case because he had his buddy Smoke calling into the show saying that he was Stephen Stearns' best friend or something like that. Right. I don't watch T-Rev, so I didn't really know about that. I know about it from like other, clip channels. Well, he got busted out, and that's why he hasn't been on the platform, because he knows all of his call-in shows that he's had, and people are calling in that are suspects of a crime or witnesses of a crime, and his channel's growing because people think like, oh my gosh, like this guy must, get all these really good interviews and like all these call-ins are calling this guy, right? Well, no, they're not. They weren't. They never did. So then you have him come back a year ago. So 2 years ago, it said his title was Bryan Kohberger called into my show allegedly. And I was like, okay, actually, you know what? I could probably find it. I'm going to duplicate this, and then I'm going to go into my watch history. Did I really watch it that far? Right here. Oh no, that's the one I just called. So okay, right here. It says has 69,000 views. And it's this right here. So Idaho 4, Bryan Kohberger calls in live. Not confirmed. Allegedly. I guess that's back when, he had some morals or something. I don't know. Morals maybe a little bit. He knew it was smoke, but he's like, I'm going to say allegedly on here. Well, our friends over at Hidden True Crime, they decided to figure out who called into T-Rev's show. And I liked it. I was there for it. I forgot about this video. When I was looking up stuff to go over on this for tonight, I was like, why do I have a video from Hidden True Crime in my Idaho 4 playlist? And this is why. So let me take it back a little bit because. Okay, let's take it back to here. And I won't play it all. I'm just going to play like a minute of it. Let me get it on the screen for you guys. But so then I'm going to come back over here. So then we're going to talk about this. So you remember this, Bryan Kohberger called into my podcast. So at first he's saying allegedly, and he's doing all the things right. That was 2 years ago. Let me move it over here. And I'll put their link in the chat. T-Rev, I'm not putting your link in my chat. You can kiss my ass. He's been in here before. He wouldn't take the link. He wouldn't do it. Just wouldn't do it. Remember he came in here that one time because I made fun of him because he didn't wear shirts on his show. He wore shirts after that. I just said I wish I could do that. That's all I said. I just made a joke. It was seriously a joke. It was totally just a joke. I was like, I wish I could do that. But then he came in here like a tumbleweed, like Tumbleweed does. Oh, thanks, guys. Well, I couldn't remember the guy's name after they get him on the Hidden True Crime podcast because the person, they get down to the bottom of it. And you wouldn't think I wouldn't have thought these two would have been the ones, you know what I mean? To have been like, hold on a second. But they did. So we're going to listen to this for a minute. And I did put the link in the chat and put it in there again. Let's go back just a little bit. Because she gets like giddy.
I just read someone else's in Australia. Forgive me. It's late. Yes, you are the father, Amy in Boston says. So
yeah, they're married.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew that.
I will not state any further. We have the answer here at Hidden True Crime. I need an envelope to open.
You need like a drum roll.
An envelope. The final answer is it is not Bryan Kohberger.
Bum, bum,
John and I have now talked
receipts
to the gentleman that called into T-Rev's podcast in December. We've talked to him now a couple times. We've gotten to know him. I cannot tell you what we talked about in our conversations. John can confirm that we confirmed the information that he relayed. We've confirmed the voice. We've confirmed the phone number. We've confirmed a background check. So we won't dig into his privacy anymore by sharing anything that we talked about, right, John? Like we're gonna keep that
right. So we know it's not Kohberger. We've definitely ruled Kohberger out. I'm sure the FBI may have done this a while ago, but speculation was still rampant. So we wanted to finally try to get an answer to this. And as you said, there was some compelling evidence here. Casey Arntz, who was a friend of Kohberger's for 4 years, thought it was him. There were people on TikTok doing
I
voice
didn't think it was him.
comparisons. They thought it was him.
And it doesn't help. It doesn't help that there's a gag order on FBI. So everyone's like, well, I'm sure the FBI's figured it out, right? But how do we know?
Why don't other people think like that though? Like I was like, I never thought that. I never thought that. Like I don't know. I was like, that ain't no Bryan Kohberger. We never even knew what he sounded like at that point. I'm like, nope.
And certainly the true crime community deserves to know what's going to assess this case.
Yeah. And also the caller, whom we will now call Demo, the caller was insightful. The caller actually, as I pointed out, the caller had a pretty good handle on Kohberger's motivations. And so that was compelling too. In other words, without even looking at the voice, I think there was some behavioral evidence that it could have been Kohberger. So
yeah, Julie Holden is stating that they'd love to know why he made some crazy comments about like 10 Sigma Chi members asking how to commit the perfect murder. We can't share.
I wonder if that's when Sigma Chi got brought into all of this. That's awesome, Sergeant Friday. That's awesome. Welcome in. Is that how, I wonder if that's when Sigma Chi got brought into all this. Like, like if someone was like, oh, nope, I saw that comment Julie Holden made. It was them 10 Sigma Chi members. I saw it on the screen. That's what they said it was. Really, it could have happened.
Again, what this person stated to us, but we can ask Demo ourselves.
We're going to see Demo.
So we're going to invite Demo on.
We'll just listen to it for a couple more minutes. Dang, Demo.
Hello, Demo.
Hello.
This is
the big reveal. You are the caller that everybody's been speculating about for the last 2 months. Thanks for joining us.
Will the real Demo please stand up?
See how she's laughing? She thinks, I would have been doing the same thing. I would have been laughing so hard if I would have found this dude on I don't know how they did it. I wonder how did they do it? Now I want to know. How did Lauren and her husband manage? Because they had a smaller channel at this time. They they didn't have near as many subscribers they do now. So they didn't have extra people working for them or, you know what I mean? Helping them. At this time, they were doing everything kind of on their own. They even found they were the ones that found Bryan Kohberger's Tapatalk count from 2007. What do y'all do? I didn't even know what Tapatalk was.
You call me Mad Dog too. That's the other thing I go by is Mad Dog.
That may not help your case, by the way. But okay, all right.
Well, I'm not defending myself for anything because
no, I know.
All I did was called a stupid YouTube thing, so that's it.
So he called. So then we're gonna squeeze on back by over here to T-Rev because I was looking at this one because I was like, oh, he did another. Bryan Kohberger called in my podcast, and this one doesn't say allegedly or not confirmed or any of that. So then I'm right here, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, this is Lauren and her husband. What's this? What's going on here? So he literally took this clip.
Case. We even talked about it on our channel. The speculation that's been going on for 2 months that a podcaster named T-Rev received a call from somebody that, and then it circulated the web far and wide within the true crime community that this person was likely Bryan Kohberger. After Bryan Kohberger was arrested, friends of Bryan Kohberger came forward and said, this sounds like Bryan Kohberger. Voice analysis, you can find plenty of them all over, the YouTube and the web. It's made national news. People wondering if indeed this could possibly be Bryan Kohberger that called into T-Rev's channel. Dr. John and I even discussed this, what it would mean if it was indeed Bryan Kohberger. And we weren't able to confirm it then the night we discussed it on Friday. We had to say, we are not sure, but we want to talk about this and what it means.
Look. If you were gonna and then he just cuts it off. He just cuts it off. Instead of actually putting what they said, we discussed this, we found the dude. No, they're wearing the same clothes. They're wearing the same damn clothes. You know what I mean? And isn't that weird? We're just talking about bad YouTubers in general. I just picked a couple just because he was an easy one to have, bring up for this case. But isn't that like, I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I mean, he just, I don't even know what to say to that. Like, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I wonder what he put down here. Disclaimer. Oh, everything over here on my channel is pure speculation and allegedly, because, if you have to put that, then please, no, don't. Just goodbye. I mean, I don't understand why you have to put allegedly, in my opinion. If it's coming out of your mouth, we know it's in your opinion. It's coming out of your mouth, right? I mean, I don't take anybody's word as fact. Okay, let me try to see where we're at. I have like so many tabs open. Okay, this is the last thing I was going to share with you guys. Just Idaho student murders, rumors, clues, and online detectives. Let's see how long it is. I didn't get to read through all of this. Okay. Oh, it was the shorter one. Okay, of the two. That was like right after it had that big snow. Poor Brian Enton, the little guy, was in there with his little blue jacket on. It says, despite seeking tips from the public, authorities in Idaho are warning rumors and speculation being spread by a growing army of amateur web sleuths and is hindering efforts to solve the grisly slayings of 4 college students. The students, all aged 20 or 21, were found stabbed to death in a home in the town of Moscow on 13th of November, a crime that has gripped U.S. headlines. So far, no arrests have been made. This was back in December. This was written of 2022. So far, no arrests have been made in the murders of Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, and no suspects publicly identified, prompting tens of thousands of people to go online to exchange theories and possible clues. And we did. Like it started with the house. Remember, like everybody was online trying to figure out what the layout of the house looked like. And that took a while before we kind of really knew what the inside of that house looked like. We had like that TikTok video, but that was really it. But these efforts, experts say, can drain investigative resources, complicate future jury selection, encourage false confessions, and bring unwanted, perhaps even dangerous public scrutiny on innocent residents. In the week since the 4 were found dead, dozens of Facebook groups and Reddit threads have been created dedicated to sharing the latest updates and parsing police statements or clues. The 2 largest Reddit subthreads, focused on the investigation, have 80,000 members, while the largest of the Facebook case discussion groups now has 35,000. That group, I think, has over like 200,000 now, doesn't it? The Facebook group. They were on like News Nation a lot. In the absence of more concrete details from the investigators, armchair detectives and internet sleuths have begun sharing their own theories about potential suspects. In one particular active Facebook group with over 15,000 members and 60 posts in the last day, members were recently rewatching a live stream of a community vigil held in honor of the victims and sharing screenshots of anyone who appeared suspicious. Yeah, we did that too. I mean, I pulled up the picture of the guy that looked like Bryan Kohberger in the student lounge. That dude looked just like Bryan Kohberger. Do you guys remember that guy? I'll find the picture. I'll find it somewhere. I find that group of pictures I had. I had that big chunk of like photos of like the crime scene and like everything else. And I need to find where I stashed that. It's in a tab somewhere. But the dude was sitting in the student, like it was just like the student center. It looked just like him from the side profile. I mean, it really did, y'all. I showed you a picture of him and you all said the same thing. I wasn't the only one on that one. I was like, this dude looks like Kohberger. I'm still not convinced it wasn't him. Still not convinced. Baby girl, that's funny. He called for toilet paper and left with a box of food. My mom used to send me home with like food all the time. I loved it. It was my favorite. Going to her house was just my favorite. Nothing like feeling like you're at home. And home is wherever your mama is. So it says, one On another thread, members debated whether the roommate of the victims could be suspects based on the timing of 911 calls. Police have repeatedly said do not believe the roommates were involved in the murders. One member of the group identified herself as the mother of one of the victims' friends. She said many of her friends feel that the suspect is someone the students knew. Well, in a statement sent to the BBC, Moscow's police department warned that speculation without factual backing has stoked community fears and led to false facts being spread. Already, they have been forced to publicly dispel a number of false rumors related to the investigation, including online reports that the victims were found bound and gagged, and that the killings may somehow be tied to a pair of double stabbings in Washington and Oregon in 1999 and 2021. In a separate statement, however, the department said that it is still seeking information from the public that there is no piece of information that is too small. Kevin Mungle, a former federal prosecutor and law professor at Case Western Reserve University in Ohio. I've never even heard of that before, and I live in Ohio. Case Western Reserve University. Where the hell is that? I'm going to get my maps out. I've lived in Ohio my whole life, pretty much. 98% of it or something. I've never heard of that. Case Western. Right there, it popped up. Oh, that's because it's all the way up north. Oh, yeah, it's far away from me. It's 3 hours away from me. That's probably why I never heard it. But I mean, it must not be a big, it's a university though. I feel like I need to take a road trip there. While the public might be able to provide tips, widespread sharing of details, verified or not, could also taint a potential jury pool if an arrest is made and the case heads to trial. Imagine you're trying to get jurors anywhere in the state of Idaho and you ask them if they've heard anything about this case. Who's not going to be aware of it? Maybe they'll have formed views on it, he said. The internet is universal. How do you find people who don't know about the case? You ship in a bunch of people for jury duty, 400, pull in, I don't know how many they pull in, 400, 800, 1,000 if you have to, I don't know. Pull them in. Is anybody going to be on? Are we all unbiased here? You know, they have questions that they have. They'll give you answers to. I'm going to do a live over that too, like what questions the jury might be asked, because I already started on the questions. But I think it'd be a good live because they do ask a lot of questions to the jury to make sure that they're not going to have any problems. You know, once they go to trial. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't even really think that I think the hearing on the 18th is just like they're having the hearing. I think the judge already knows what he's doing. I think that the judge already knows this case is continuing because I don't think that he would subpoena 5-6 people from out of state, 5 from Pennsylvania, 1 from Nevada already. I'm sure Dylan's in there too. We just haven't found her paperwork. So I don't think he would have already went and did that, you know, give the go ahead, start, you know, summoning people or subpoena people over if the trial is not going to be August 11th, because that's what they put on the paperwork. Trial August 11th. We need them here for the trial August 11th. Oh, I don't know. I just have my own questions, Doodlebug. I don't watch Anjanette. I haven't watched her before. Like I've seen like bits and pieces, but I haven't watched like a whole thing. But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think we can get the jury questions. I don't think so. It'd be cool if we could, like maybe after the trial, but not. I don't think not before now. No, I just have a list of questions that are most likely to be asked in like a high profile, case like this. So it says, did I read all this? I don't think I did, but it says in other cases, public attention could fall on innocent people uninvolved in the case. A man who lives near the home where the murders took place in Idaho has told media he has faced harassment from web sleuths who suggested online that he was strange and perhaps involved in the case. Are they talking about the one guy? What's his name? I can't remember now. The guy with the knives, the chef guy, he was on Hidden True Crimes. I can't remember his name, but I think that's who they're talking about. In some instances, the public naming of potential suspects by amateur investigators would increase the risk that police, under intense public scrutiny, focus on the wrong person. Everyone is going to be screaming at the police, he added. That pressure could lead them to jump the gun. Well, yeah, okay, I guess so. I guess so. What'd she do? What baby girl's daughter do? I'm like, I just saw the disabled thing and I'm like, what are we doing? I have an iPhone. What are we doing? Oh, someone stole her phone. I'm like, I thought she did something bad. I'm like, I thought we were taking phones away from kids. Look at me over here, baby girl. I'm like, what'd she do? I'll get in there. Yeah, phone insurance is so good to have. But you still got to pay a bunch, I feel like. Yeah, so the other night we actually got confirmation that, Bethany Funk will be there. Like, they subpoenaed her and they already put in the paperwork. She already went to court for it. She has to be there August 11th. I haven't seen anybody else talk about that. Like, but I haven't really seen anybody, you know what I mean? So I don't know, but it's out there. Last night I put it out. And then the other 5 people that they're subpoenaing, those people get to have like a little court hearing in Pennsylvania. They're trying to fight it. And then they're all going to end up being subpoenaed. So someone stole her phone, man. I'd be so mad. I lay my phone down all the time. I'm one of those people. I should have had my phone taken from me probably too many times, but I get lucky. And my headphones. I want regular headphones. Like, I used to say that, like, the ones that go over your ears are like, I'm like, those are ugh. Like, Vincent has a pair that were very expensive. I bought them for him like way a long time ago when he asked for them, like for his birthday or Christmas. But I don't want to wear his. I want my own pair. So, because I keep losing my AirPods, I keep sitting them down. I set them down everywhere. And I'm like, why do I do that? You shouldn't do that. Put them back in the case. I think that's all I got for you guys. I was just chatting with you. And then if you missed it, in the beginning of the live, I showed you guys this picture because, welcome to adulthood, where the only clubbing you'll be doing is Sam's. I went to Sam's today. I'm going to laugh about this for a while. I should send this to Vincent. Oh, yeah. Can the AirPods can, even if you don't have them in the box? Like, if you don't have them in the little thingy? Well, shoot. Well, I didn't know that. I'll be running back to, like, I'll put them, like, I'll take them out of my ear if I go to, like, the restroom or something, like down at the pool. I did that the other day, and I put them, like, on the little thing, like this dispenser thing, and I just sat them there, and I was like, they'll be fine. And then I walked to the pool, laid down, was, enjoying myself, and then all of a sudden, I was like, oh, crap. My headphones. You're not listening to anything. Like, it took me a minute to realize I wasn't listening to anything. I'm always jamming out. I have 3 pairs of headphones, actually, AirPods, because I lose them. Remember? I know Ashley's been with me for too long, because I know you'll remember. I lost 1 pair, and then those are gone. And then I thought I lost another pair, and then I found them, and then I thought, I don't know, something happened where I thought I lost a pair, and I couldn't go live. I was freaking out. I thought I needed earphones, or I thought I needed headphones to talk into my mic. I thought it would come back as an echo if I didn't. And so I'm like, oh my gosh. So Vincent was like, don't worry, baby girl. We got you, girl. We got you. We're going to get you some. He's like, I'm ordering them right now, we'll pick them up right now. Like, whatever we got to do, just calm, whatever we got to do. And because I was like freaking out, and he's good at that. Yeah, I need to add them all 3 pairs. I need to add them all to my phone. Well, 1 pair doesn't charge. Like, the box thing doesn't work anymore. And I only have 1 AirPod for 1. So that's like not really, so I have 2 pairs, I'd say. One of them only has one there. And the box don't charge. But yeah, Vincent's good about calming me down. I'm like, I remember it was in that other room and I really didn't know YouTube then, and streaming and like StreamYard and all that stuff. So I was like, I was freaking out. I was like, what if I don't have headphones? And his headphones wouldn't work with my MacBook because they're not Apple or something. Like they don't have or not Apple, but they don't have like the right adapter at the bottom. So we didn't have the adapter or something. I don't know. Or maybe I didn't want to wear those because they're big. Maybe I don't know. I'm a baby. You have a keychain for your iPhone? Well, see, my iPhone's good because I have a loopy case. Like this case doesn't come off your hand. Like I have a few of these and they need to sponsor me. Sponsor me, Loopy. I forgot to add you into my products tonight. But no, like this case is the best. Like I haven't had my phone without one of these. And if I did, I'd probably drop it. But it's just it's for you to hold it. And then if you need to hold your look, if you need to hold your drink, you can hold your drink while you're holding your phone. You can hold like my vape. I could hold like my lip stuff, like in my hands. You know how girls are when we're going to the car? We have like a million things in our hands and then our purse. Oh, like an AirTag. I need one of those. Maybe girl, I need like a couple. I need like a 4-pack of AirTags. I'm always losing something. It's what it is with me, and it's just me. Like I take it personal when I lose something. Like if I can't find something in the house and I know where it's at, like I know, where the scissors are. They're in the drawer in their little container, right? But like if they're not there, I'll have like a panic attack almost. Like I'll be like, and I'll go to look for them and then I can't see. It's bad. Like today was so nice, like shopping with Vincent because I went to shop for skincare and he wanted some skincare too because he's getting older too, and he was reading them for me. I'm like, this is what I need because I was starting to get panicky, I'm like looking at them and all the writings are so small. And I'm like, I don't know which one I need. Which one has SPF? That's why I was like, it was pretty funny. I should have recorded that. That would have been funny. Clip sheet. I can't say that. The JBL. I wonder what that is. I think JBL is a pretty good brand. Yeah, it is. Very much true love. We went to Sephora yesterday. He got a taste of the Clinique men's line. Yeah. He's like, I need this for my skin. I'm like, okay. Do you want to put it in my mini fridge? I love it. I think it's adorable. I put that old filter on him yesterday, and ever since then, he's big mad about that. He's like, don't you ever do that again. But thank you guys for talking to me. I appreciate it. That was a pretty long live. Let me see if anybody else is on. Actually, before we get off here, just remember you have 30 minutes left to do something that makes you happy. Maybe it's this. And it's for Kaylee Jade Day. And oh, it's sad. Her mom posted pictures today. Actually, let me share this with you guys before I jump off here. She posted some pictures. She posted pictures of her daughter. Such a beautiful, beautiful girl. Look at how young they were. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh. She posted a lot of pictures. Wow. I didn't want to go through them too fast. (2010). Wow. Oh, look at how small Murphy was. Oh my goodness. I want one so bad. Did I miss the one where her mom put up or she put up the one, maybe it's down here. Or maybe she took it off. Remember, it's right here, this one. It was just their pool. I thought it was so pretty. It says it's the most beautiful day of the year. I thought that was sweet. I love that. I couldn't imagine. Me too, maybe girl, me too. It's sickening that they have to like live without their, like, I don't know, living without your parents is one thing. Like, I think that your parents shouldn't get cheated out of like watching their kids grow up, you know, like, or be grown-ups. I don't think that should happen. But I truly don't think that you should ever lose a child. You know, that's just, I couldn't even, I wouldn't be able to, I don't know how people do it, really. I don't even have children, and I couldn't imagine. Look at me and look with me and my dog. My dog ain't even in here. None of them are. Oh man, it's a lot sadder in this room without the dogs. But no, she's out there. She went out to the bathroom. That's why. But no, like you saw me with her when she got in that dog fight, and I was just like so protective. Yeah, no parent should ever have to bury their child. No, ever, not ever. Not at 22 or 21. Sorry, 21 years old. It's just beginning your life, you know, just beginning it. I didn't even know like my head from my ass at 22 or 21. I keep thinking 22 because that's when my world feels like it stops sometimes. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. And I hope you guys had a good weekend. I'll be back on tomorrow night. I'll be on tomorrow during the day too, I think, for like a members live. If not, I want everyone to be able to come. So I'll do it like not real like early, but not super late. If I do it. And if I don't get everybody, then we'll do another one throughout the week. But I know tomorrow and Tuesday it's like raining here, so I'll be indoors all day. And I don't want to be hanging out by myself, so I'll hang out with y'all. But thanks for being here. And I'm losing my voice. I've been losing my voice the last few like nights. Let me get my drink. It's been cracking like crazy. But thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate it. I even cracked on my pre-recorded video I did earlier today. If you guys didn't watch my pre-recorded video earlier today, just put it on as noise in the background. Your girl had to record this thing 3 times. The first time I recorded a whole episode that you guys had already listened to, it went backwards. I don't know what it did. I was like, what? Didn't even notice it because I've listened to them so many times because I listened in the live. I listened before, I listened in the live, and then I listened during the pre-recorded. So I was like, oh man. I was like, so yeah, go, or at least go hit the like button on that video. I was just like, oh my gosh. But hopefully it'll get out to the algorithm a little more. But it's not doing bad. But thank you guys for being here tonight. I appreciate you so much. I will see you tomorrow. Oh, thank you, Tanny. I appreciate that. And I will be back on tomorrow during the day for members, and then tomorrow evening at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for everyone else. So bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to